Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack.
And I'm Rick.
And today we're talking about Konosuba, God's blessing on this wonderful world, Legend of the Crimson. And this was actually my choice. It's a movie and it came out in 2019. Genres are adventure, comedy, fantasy, magic, parody, supernatural. And the producer for it was Kadokawa with a studio of JC Staff.
I loved it. You, in your own words, you would assume I think it's ecchi or something like that. I loved it so damn much. I was rolling from the start because just like normal, I loved the fact that it was a continuation of season 2. This whole thing is set after everything, very much in the same way that Full Metal Alchemist has the Full Metal Alchemist movie directly after that. Brotherhood is a completely separate thing. Talk about that another time. But I like the fact that even if we don't get a third season, this is kind of like season 3. Does that make sense?
It does. It definitely is like a season 3-esque kind of feel to it, which I'm actually pretty happy with. Also, at the same time, I'm a little bit disappointed that there was no season 3, but I'll take the movie over that. I do hope there will be a season 4, though.
Oh, God, yeah. I hope there's a season 3. I hope this is just like a little sidetrack. Mm-hmm. But just like season 1 and season 2, the beauty of the equal rights get equal lefts. Love it. And I love the fact that he is he's treating it just like you normally would in a game where you're like, this is my popular phase. I'm going to start a harem. Let's go. And that's like his whole shtick. Like in his opinion, it's his popular phase. And that means that all the ladies love him.
And I mean, like, technically he's not wrong in the fact that it's his popular phase. It's just not the popularity you're expecting, because everyone's looking down on him. Everyone's talking smack. Everyone's just treating him like total trash. They even call him a Scumuza.
Yeah. It's Scumuza or something like that. I had to pause and rewind so many times because of just like the subtitles, while crystal clear and amazingly easy to read, probably the best I've seen in a while as far as this series goes. People were talking over each other.
They were.
Which means that subtitles were all over the screen at times.
Mm-hmm. Also, at the same time, while I was laughing, I had a hard time reading some of it too, because I was just laughing so hard.
Oh, goodness. One of my favorite, just straight up favorite things is how they started. They started with Union, who is a crimson demon, rolling up. Now, I don't know if it was me. I don't know if I just didn't notice it because I only watched it one time. I'm going to be watching it again, hopefully with my significant other, because it's share worthy, which if you know anything about our scoring system, you'll realize it's quite high.
Yes.
But so Union comes in, and in the middle of Kazuma getting ragged on by literally everyone, Union comes in, and she, in my opinion, looks like she's probably 14, 15 maybe?
Yeah, I would say probably around that. Why not?
Yeah. Okay. And she goes, I want to have your baby. And then he goes, he breaks the fourth wall more than Deadpool. I swear. He looks dead camera, has this like super creepy smile going on. And he's going like, my popular phase. It's begun. Let's do this thing. Where? Here? There? I'm good to go. I haven't been laid in forever. We're awesome. Let's do this thing. I want to have a girl first. She's like, no, it has to be a son. And he's like, all right, cool. Whatever you want. Let's just do this thing. You're talking too much. Let's go.
And it just, honestly, that is like a perfect setup for the whole movie and how it is, because at the same time, he's trying to finish up the deal from season 2 with one of the Demon Lord generals to sell his ideas for a boatload of cash. And so it's like, yeah, $300 million. All right, cool. We need to head to the Crimson Demon Village, by the way. Just to kind of like stop in and say hi.
Yeah. But no, it gets even better. It gets even better because in that first scene, you see a prophecy. Like, hey, this needs to happen. And Yun is the sole survivor. And then you've got your little exploding chick right next to her going, what happened to me? And like glossing over that, like, that's unimportant. This is what happened. And Cosmo's like, you don't got to worry about that. What's important is I need to have a kid. And then you read it's by so-and-so. And you're like, wait a second, this isn't a real prophecy. This is simply a fan fiction. And she just embarrassed herself for no reason. And then Yun's like, I'm going to go home. And sorry.
Yeah.
So and that's when you find out that that's when you get a rough timeline, because yes, the deal for the 300 million, let's call it dollars. I don't know what they call
Heiress.
it. Heiress, 300 million heiress, which make you fantastically wealthy, is there. And they get teleported to near the Crimson Devil's location. And, Kazuma's popular phase strikes one more time.
Again, not for the reason you're thinking. He's popular because he's the only male out of that entire group, and they get teleported near orcs. Now, key trick is there are no male orcs left. They're all dead. And in fact, when one male orc is brought into existence, they die before their prime simply because all the female orcs are so crazed out of their mind for some male action that they work them to death, literally. And so that's what happens as Cosmo's being chased by a herd of orcs wanting to rape him.
Oh, not even like there's no subtlety in it at all. They're like, come on, don't you want my body? And these orcs look like, I would say, successful bodybuilders. Every last one of them, except they've got a literal hog for a face. And it is horrifying.
Oh yeah. No, and they're like literally drooling
and frothing at the mouth.
Yeah, it's magnificent. I mean, oh my god! And the Crimson Demon Village, everyone has a very unique look, and they all do the same kind of introduction that Megumin always did. It's awesome. Her dad, Megumin's dad, looks like something out of a high school video. He's still dressed like a trouble
punk rock, like rides a motorcycle or something like that, with like the offset hat and with the cape, like a punk.
Yeah, and everyone has their own specific, unique look. What's great too is they all say these magnificent entry points. Right? It's icy. It's fire. There's like poison coming out of their feet or something like that, and then they all do one attack. And it's like, okay, so what happened to the ice? What happened to this poison mist you were talking about? And you just do this one attack? Why?
Yeah, it was hilarious. They're like, I'll freeze your heart with my ice magic. I'll burn you to cinders with my flame, and the dark flame of eternity, and you'll choke on the poisonous gases that will erupt from your lungs. And they all use like light magic.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? No.
I gotta say, when you do meet the fourth general or the other general, basically the final one, right?
I assume, because they typically go 4 generals and then the demon lord. Like that's the typical trope.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, this will be the 5th. This would be the fifth because the two that survived, the mask and the necromancer lady,
Wiz,
and then you've got the Death Knight, and then the slime.
Right. And then you got the
Chimera, which is the fifth.
Yep.
So she's the Chimera. Yeah. Well, I don't know if you really can call her a she. Spoiler alert.
Kazuma definitely got that. Spoiler alert late.
Yeah. Oh, God. So basically, this is a voluptuous woman who he bluffs hard the very first time. So Kazuma is very well known for being a stealer of panties. A very, very good stealer of panties, apparently. And he uses his luck, which the only stat that he has naturally maxed out is his luck stat. So, I mean, that is a good Deus Ex Machina for anything. Like, if you have any issue in this whole series, his luck will save you in the most unconventional manner available. And so his luck is he's entering his popular phase. The orcs attack him. He got lucky because Megumin came and saved him. And
it wasn't Megumin. It was Union who came and saved him.
That's right. So the reason I say that Union looked young at first is this next time you see her when she's at the village, she's much old. She looks much older, like at least 20. So, and they do mention that she is out of school and Megumin is out of school. So I assume they're all of age and stuff like that. But the way that Union presents herself outside of, I guess, the Crimson Village, it's immature, I guess is how I would put it. So that made me feel a little bit better about the whole situations that were going on. Anyway, you find out that everyone in the Crimson Village they all specialize in introducing themselves in the most, I'm not going to say arrogant, but in the most elaborate way possible with the most grand terminologies that don't apply.
Yeah.
Like at all. They're like, I am the teacher of elementary school students and the master of so-and-so. You all have nothing. The introductions have nothing to do with their actual achievements.
Yeah.
That said, they all specialize, they min-max in high-level magic. So they have no defense. They have no actual usefulness other than these amazing lightning, fire, wind, crazy magics. Yep. And
I mean, like, honestly, that's all they really need too, because there's an entire horde coming towards them and they're just off on a cliff laughing hysterically, raining magic spells on them, just obliterating everything and everyone across.
Yeah, and the comedy comes through because the chief is like, we're considering using this light show as like an attraction to maybe bring money in.
What do you think? What do you think about that, Kazuma? You think that'll work? I don't know. Why are you asking me?
And the funny thing is, he's like, I don't even know why we're here. We obviously these people don't need us to be here because, it seems silly. Oh, I missed a huge part. I'm sorry. I should go back. The letter, the whole reason they're going to the village to begin with, in the letter, it opens with, by the time you read this, I will probably have passed. And apparently that is a normal introduction to a letter. That is like their dear so-and-so. By the time you read this, I have passed it.
Which is really funny because not even Megumin knew about this. She was like, but you said that. He's like, yeah, that's normal greeting. I mean, like, that's how everyone talks, right? No, that's not. Why would you say that? What's great is as soon as you find out Megumin's living circumstances, it's really sad because of how her dad is. He looks like a punker. They also live in a really crabby shack that's really run down, and he's just got some dumplings. He's like, yeah, that's just a dessert. And they're like, oh, thank you for this bountiful feast. We'll now finally be able to eat. And he feels so bad for him. He hands over the last couple boxes.
Megumin's little sister comes up and goes, "Is this the food that actually fills you up? It's not watered down water?" You're like, "Oh, you poor things." But anyway, so the reason we brought up the what's her name, Sylvia?
Yes.
Okay, so the reason we brought her up is she's the demon lord general that is assaulting the Crimson demons. And when Kazuma first meets them, he has to kind of bluff his way through. And the type of man Kazuma is, he's so prideful and he's so arrogant and he's so accomplished that simply saying his name drives away. Wait, no, that's not him. That's the other hero the goddess sent to this world, and he's just borrowing the name. And by bluffing, he's able to beat the horde of demons away.
Exactly.
So yeah, he's a liar. He's a thief of underwear. He's apparently in his prime right now.
And he's also let's not forget, because of his big mouth and saying that he's about to get a 300 million heiress or $300 million, that her parents, Megumin's parents, want him to marry her, to where her mom actually puts everyone to sleep with magic and puts her inside the room with him and locks him in there. First time she runs away. First time she runs away. And
first time Megumin runs out the door and leaves. The second time, Kazuma was able to use his ice magic to block any escape that she has, like a creep. Oh, jeez.
I mean, like the whole thing across the board has been great, and how Kazuma finds out Sylvia is a chimera and more than just a woman.
Well, she straight up tells him.
Well, after he figures out something's poking him in the behind.
No. Okay, so to get to that part, basically he's like, my popular face is here, and that general's got some massive boobs, just straight up massive, and the general hugs him and basically suffocates him, and all of his was like, "We'll save." He goes, "No, it's too late for me. You need to go," and it doesn't quite work that way. They're able to beat him back just barely, and he's like, "You know what? You don't deserve me." He takes off his shirt and holds his arms out like a cross, and the chimera like reaches her tentacles out and grabs him and pulls him into her bosom area. He's just in heaven, fondling away. And it becomes apparent that via conversation that things are not quite what they seem, because the chimeras ends up saying, "Hey, you're kind of exciting me," and Kazuma goes, "I have that way with women. It's my popular phase." And then the chimera basically says something like that. "Well, I'm not all women. I'm not all women. These boobs you're liking so much are an add-on. Guess what else is an add-on?" And you see him like go from a pleasure face to a kind of shocked, worrisome face. He goes, "There's something poking." He goes, Yeah, I'm really excited. Let's become one." And that's when he goes, "You guys gotta save me." Oh God, no.
It's in general, this beginning to end, this movie does not disappoint. It definitely helps scratch that Konosuba itch. And it even references the OVAs from the season 1 and season 2 in this, in that the Crimson Demons were created by the same guy, the same professor from OVA 1 and OVA 2.
Yeah. The same guy who made the destroyer, the spider destroyer thing, ended up making the Crimson Demons, and apparently he designed them to be this way. Like, he engineered humans to be this way. And Sylvia, ironically enough, looks a whole lot like his assistants who kept beating his butt.
Yep.
And so I think that has there's some backstory there, I think, that wasn't quite filled out. But the funniest thing is, right alongside the Crimson Demons, he ends up making like what would they call it? The Mage Killer or something like that?
Yeah, the Mage Killer. And it's basically this machine that can dispel and deactivate magic. Being Sylvia being a chimera, though, she doesn't have to know how to use it. She just absorbs it and becomes one with it and knows how to use it instantaneously.
Yeah, it becomes an instinct. And it's quite funny because she uses the D-spell only one time. And it was effective because 90% of the people who were around her casting magics at her lost the ability. And you see this grand, I'm going to burn you to ash. And like a 4-minute, it's not really 4 minutes, but it might as well have been in game time, 4-minute long speech about how this attack is amazing and awesome. They go to attack and nothing happens. And you're kind of like disappointed a little bit because the speech for this attack was so awesome. You feel like there should have been some kind of reward from it.
Oh, there was a reward, just not the one you're thinking.
Yeah. So anyway, the hordes, the demon hordes are realizing that, hey, these people who kept kicking our butts no longer have power. Let's go destroy them. Well, this is where Union comes to save the day. And you get a small backstory from her where she's an archmage, but she's not an advanced tier mage, which is why she's not considered to be elite or equal to everyone else. And then she gives her introduction. Again, long. I'm the future leader of so and so. I'm the wielder of such sacred arts as blah 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 blah. I'm the future leader, and I am now the wielder of advanced magic, or something like that. And she goes just as a distraction to Sylvia,
right?
And you find out that alongside the Crimson Demons and the Mage Killer, this evil doctor decided to make one weapon that could kill or disable the Mage Killer. And you reflect as a viewer and you realize these idiots were using the thing that could kill the thing that can kill them as a clothes hanger.
Yep. Of course.
So they go back to the village. They grab this gun, this rifle, this amazing thing, fill it up. They fire it. And it's kind of awesome because it kills her, kind of, sort of. But then she comes back even greater.
Right. And
what is the final thing that actually gets them? Do you remember?
Oh, yes, I do. The final thing that actually gets them is Megumin's explosion magic, coupled with Union's lightning magic or light magic.
And what made that possible?
Everyone coming together in a very symbiotic way, giving all their magic energy to Wiz, who then gives it all to Megumin and Union.
And they create this like javelin thing. But the thing that gave them this opening was something that is so stupid, so ignorant, so not ignorant, just so out there that it shouldn't have worked. But Kazuma's popular phase, apparently his attraction is so high that even in her craze, Sylvia's like, I want to be one with you. And so she absorbs him and allows for that final magic to kill her.
Well, it's because of his popular phase that she was able to be distracted, because when she's absorbing him, he's stripping down and he's like, I love you. And she's telling him that she loves him too. And to drop the barrier, he looks up at her and says, I love you again. And now that causes the barrier to drop. She's like, I understand you totally played me, but I still love you anyways. What's great is he says, had it not been for all the blessings that Aqua had bestowed on me, it would have been really bad had I come back to life in the same kind of condition. But you see the other goddess just like vomiting after looking. You don't even see what he looks like. You just see her vomiting at the side of him. Apparently it was just that bad.
Yeah, it was no good. It was no good. He's like, yeah, she buffed my luck to the max. And I wish they would have looked, because the when you see him die in the afterlife, he's in a chair almost always, right? When he lost his head, he was in a chair. This grotesque, inside out looking husk of a person I can only imagine is there. That's the best part about it. You have no idea. So like your mind is concocting this thing that would make a goddess just hurl and send you back on principle.
Yeah, exactly.
Come back when you die the right way.
It's this movie.
And I think it ends on a good note.
It does.
It ends on a beautiful note. Because so at the end, Megumin is like, you know what? I think if I was less hung up on explosion magic, and if I would have just done what you're supposed to do game-wise, I could have saved us a lot of problems. And Kazuma's a dick like always. Yeah, you're right. If you would have just played your role the way it's to be played, we could have saved a lot of headache, and it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. Our lives would be considerably easier if you just did what you were supposed to do. And she hands him her card, and you find out the cards are basically how they level, right?
Yeah, which is explained in season 1, the first couple episodes. And
well, see, what I understood is that you couldn't mess with somebody else's card. This was a whole revolutionary thing for me. Like you could steal someone's card and like dump everything into, let's say, I don't know, luck, and make it completely useless for them.
Well, the thing is, maybe it's only in the sense that she willingly gave it to someone. So if you forcefully take it, you can't do anything. However, if you willingly are given it, you're able to do something on it. Because obviously you trust that person enough to hand it to them. One would hope anyway. Because,
well, see, the thing that makes me a little bit not weirded out, but like thinking, she handed it to him so that he could do one thing in particular. And he does whatever he's going to do and hands it back to her. And she goes, well, that was it. I'm not an explosion magic anymore. And he goes, hey, would you mind giving me one last go for old time's sake? And just this earth shattering, like the biggest explosion you could see from outer space. And it was awesome and glorious. And you're like, oh, it gives you tingles. It's great. And she looks at him and goes, oh, thank you. And he goes, I wouldn't have you any other way.
Yeah.
But that means that instead of advancing her magic, like she handed him the card to do, he just did something else, boosted her explosions and stuff like that. And then she reintroduces herself in the grand thing. She's the explosion master, and one day will be like the master of all explosions. And it was really awesome.
It was a great ending. It was, it ended on a really high note, which I enjoy. I mean,
not only that, it felt complete. It didn't feel like they were trying to be next week.
Right. You know? Which is good, which is really, really good. I really like that they didn't play on it like that they didn't leave it on a note to make you want to go back and watch it some more or anything like that. You know, shenanigans are going to continue on and everything like that. Eventually it will have to come to an end type of thing. Like he will either inevitably go fight the demon lord, or he will not.
I'm going to laugh my butt off if they actually come to the conclusion, the climax, the whole series, and the demon lord is some weeb watching anime.
That would be awesome.
It's like, I don't know. I created these guys so I wouldn't have to do anything. And now you go kill them. And my show's almost over, Mom. You know, that kind of thing.
You know, it would be particularly awesome because, you know, all these problems, a lot of the problems like the Crimson Demons and everything else are because of one person that Aqua sent to that world, one hero. It would be awesome if the Demon Lord was a hero Aqua originally sent there to save everyone.
Oh, that would be perfect. That'd be awesome.
That would be great. I would love that. That's okay.
Or think about this. The Demon Lord was, you're right, a hero that was sent there, but instead of having like special powers, he simply has immortality where he doesn't age. And the dude just got bored. What? Someone who's there, so I might as well be the guy who's there. But the issue is he just doesn't age mentally or physically.
That would suck for him. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know how I would feel about that.
It's all speculation. It's
there's
a reason why I'm not a manga writer. Oh man, I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I plan on watching it again. That
me
said,
too.
I think it's I think it's about time I give my my score.
Indeed, on a scale of up to 10, sir, how would you rate it?
I wish we would do decimal points. I really, really do, because I would give it like a 9.8. But because we are not doing that, I'm going to have to give it a 9, because it's definitely not a 10 in my book. I disliked the fact that they spoke over each other. So someone who does not speak the language and has to go off subtitles had to pause and rewind. So the hour and 40-minute movie took me almost 2.5 hours, because, well, let's be realistic, like 2 hours. So it added another 20 minutes, and it kind of disrupted the pace.
I get that.
So
and
but everything else, that's the only complaint I have with it. It made me roll laughing. It was beautiful. It was wonderfully done.
I honestly have to echo with you on all of that. It was a great movie. It was definitely something I could go back and watch time and time again. But like you, there were a few spots I had to rewind even when I wasn't laughing. I had to rewatch it just so I could catch what they were saying, simply because it was just a little too rapid for me. But again, our opinion, not reflective over the movie as a whole, but I agree. I echo your scoring of a 9. So next week is your choice, sir. What are we doing?
So the anime that I want to choose ended really recently, actually, March 21st, 2020 was the end of season 1. It's Darwin's Game. Have you heard of it?
I have, actually, and I've watched some of it, not all of it. I've gotten sidetracked with a whole bunch of other things, but from what I did see of it, it is pretty good.
I think it's good, but not in the way that most anime are. It's I don't know what kind of genre it is.
It's action, mystery, and shonen.
Really, I was hoping it'd be thriller, but shonen makes a lot of sense. But yeah, that's my choice for next week. I hope there's a season 2 that comes out. There is an epilogue at the end, so be sure to watch that. Yeah, that's my choice for next week.
All right. Sounds pretty good to me. I look forward to actually completing it. It's only 11 episodes long, and it ran from January to March 2020, so really new for us. And that's about all the time we have for today. If you liked this week's episode, or if you want to give us some feedback, reach out to us, talk to us, anything like that, we have all our information in the show notes. Join our Discord, email us at Featured Anime Podcast, or hit us up on Twitter or Facebook. We are on there. Until next time, I'm Jack.
And I'm Rick, and we'll see you next time.